What's going on, guys? Strong Life podcast, and I am going to put this one out live through Facebook. So I'm taking these questions from a post that came through Instagram, and I try to answer the first 10 questions. I'm also going to try to bounce back on comments that are made here on the Facebook Live. First off, if you are new to listening to the Strong Life podcast, it's a blend of how to dominate, how to succeed in the gym, in life, and the reason that comes to me is through my earliest years, a lot of my mentors came through the gym. But then as I got older, I started seeing people that were maybe extremely strong, crushing the gym, strongest guys in the gym. Then life was in shambles outside of the gym. And of course, being a strength coach and running the underground strength coach certification, doing a lot of mentoring and consulting for coaches, I see this a lot where like we are coaches, we should be inspiring, influencing, guiding, mentoring others, but I wasn't seeing that. So I like to share success stories and strategies, and also want to thank Intex Strength, intexstrength.com. They are the sponsor for the Strong Life podcast. So here we go. Going to dig into these questions. These Q&A episodes are my favorites because it allows me to answer and meet exactly what you're thinking, exactly what information you want. These tend to be a blend of business and training and lifestyle. That's what the Strong Life is about: mind, body, and life. Okay, first question comes from Just Try 21159. A young man should read what books? That's a great question, and a good thing I'm reading and doing this podcast down here in the office, and I've got books all over my desk. So let's see what we've got here. A young man should read what books? Number one, I'm going to say should read the book Lone Survivor. I think that's going to give them a different reality as to what is tough, what is so challenging. Kids think that life is so hard, and I think they're kind of clueless as to what a true challenge is. Read Joe DeSena's Spartan Up. Read the Encyclopedia of Underground Strength. If you could read Chinese and you're watching the video, here's the Chinese version. I've got a couple of copies here that are the Chinese version. So if you are in China or could read Chinese, I will send it to you somehow, some way. Looking up here, I would definitely say read Arnold Schwarzenegger's Education of a Bodybuilder. That book motivated the heck out of me because it's part autobiography, part training. And if you want to like dig into some kind of old school books, right here on my desk, I see Super Squats. I've got Marty Gallagher's The Purposeful Primitive on my desk. Another book that I think was, one of the earliest cool books that I read was by Richard Marcinko, the founder of DevGuru, a.k.a. SEAL Team 6, a.k.a. many other names. But his first book, Rogue Warrior, was inspiring, just about how he was making shit happen. I'm sure there's some fiction in there, but that was a great book. I don't think kids read enough. Looking up there on my bookshelf, Stephen Pressfield, Turning Pro, Stephen Pressfield, Warrior Ethos, Lionsgate. Man, there's a lot of good books out there I think kids should be reading every day. Awaken the Giant Within is a great book by Tony Robbins. That was one of my first great books that really fired me up. Trying to see what else I've got up here. Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink would be good. And also today, there's other ways to learn. I'd like to see kids listening to podcasts. Of course, the Strong Life podcast would be great. I love the military books. The books by a lot of the guys that were in special forces. They always fire me up. And I'm looking at the book No Easy Day. And I remember listening to the audio book of No Easy Day when I drove to and from Chicago. So I thought that was a great book. So hopefully this gives you guys some insight, just kind of scanning around my desk. I have books scattered all over the house. My wife goes nuts with that. Next question is, where can a young strength coach network? You should definitely get to Soar Next Summer Strong. That is one of the most awesome experiences. It's not even a seminar or convention. The learning comes through doing. You end up training with the guys. You end up being around strength coaches from the high school sector, the college sector, the professional level, and it's pretty cool. I haven't ran into any egos at all. So Summer Strong to me is awesome. I have definitely pulled back. I used to go to a lot of different seminars, and I can't even keep up with so much of the stuff going on. So it's a tough one, but Summer Strong is still really like the one event I go to, because two reasons. One, I'm not good at just sitting down and listening to somebody speak. It just crushes me. Number two, if it's a hands-on seminar, with my shoulder injury, I basically can't do a good amount of these upper body movements. So I'm going to still recommend that you get to seminars and do hands-on stuff. And of course, now online, there's groups with Facebook and whatnot. There's a lot of good stuff going on. Next question. The Strength Battalion says, what is your best marketing tip? And I said, I've answered this many times before. And I always tell people, the best marketing or the best business tip is training is the business. You've got to be a great strength coach. You have to be a great motivator, a great inspiration, a great mentor, whether you're training athletes or adults. But with athletes nowadays, they've got so many injuries from sports, from overuse, from starting at an early age, that your knowledge base has to be way, way further ahead than what it used to be 10 years ago, even 5-6 years ago. So you got to be great at the training. But on the flip side, I don't want to cop out on that, because there's a lot of amazing strength coaches that we don't even know about. We don't even hear about them. And why? It's because they're not putting themselves out there. So to get you're building this trust with people before they even come to you. For example, a Division I wrestling coach told me they were out on a recruiting visit in Pennsylvania, and they mentioned my name, and the parent said, man, I've been making my son follow all his workouts for years. So there's a trust factor involved when people show that you could prove your results. So you need to utilize videos. At this day and age, we're getting near the end of 2016. You must be on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. It's just, you pretty much have to do it, unless you're in a very unique situation where you're constantly in front of athletes. Let's say you're in a sporting facility, so they're coming across your stuff and they're in front of you, and you get to do more of an in-person marketing. Now, today it might be, Facebook advertising and Instagram. A year from now, 5 years from now, it might be another type of social network. So as an independent strength coach, you've got to put your information out there, and you basically have to, I tell people, I go, it's not one thing, it's doing 100 things. And that's probably, for me, the least fun about being an independent business owner is you're constantly doing this marketing stuff. You're doing all this behind the scenes work just to finally get in front of the athletes. And any of you guys that are watching, if you're sharing it out, big thanks. My business partner, Dave Martin, we are partners at the Underground Strength Gym in Yeti MMA, which is Scotch Plains, New Jersey. He shared it out. Craig De La Cruz, one of my earliest athletes that I used to work with. Ted Rasmussen, Underground Strength Coach. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and supporting. So I'm going to tell you, being a strength coach, you spend a lot more time behind the computer, and you've got to decide that if you're going to be an independent strength coach, you have to be prepared to do that. I've met many coaches who are struggling financially because they refuse to learn what it takes to build a successful business in the year 2016 as well as prior. And they're at a point where, I can't make the rent. I got, money for the family. And they just won't even try. They won't even try to do it. So there's 100 things you do to grow your business, not just one thing. But the ultimate foundation is, when they get in the door, what kind of product do you deliver? It has to be, I always say, the minimum effective dose is you have to be life-changing. If you're not changing lives, you're not doing a good enough job. Next question comes from Josh Bridgman. Hey, Zach, if I recall correctly, you mentioned that one of your kids played tennis. Have you met much resistance in the tennis world with your kids doing strength training? If so, how do you overcome this? Thanks for all the great content you put out there. So Josh, good question. And so my kids aren't at the age, they're younger, they're not in the high school level where there's a lot of control. Now, I meet resistance and get very, very, very little to zero support from outside sport coaches. I usually give the ratio of basically for every 30 to 40 coaches I email, one will respond, including coaches who have a losing record, including coaches who may have only won less than 10% of their competition. They don't even respond to the emails. I often make a joke. I say, even when you offer to wash their car and mow their lawn and they have a 90% plus losing record, they still don't respond, or they say, we're good enough, we got this. Oreo Ortega, welcome, my man. Underground strength coach. And it's just a shame because I'm a former school teacher, but I'm not a former teacher. I say I teach every day. Mr. Yunker, what's happening? Hope you're doing great up in Edison. It's amazing. You reach out to these coaches and, you know, they don't even respond. They don't even try to make things happen. So I've probably, how do I say the word? I've exhausted myself trying to reach out to coaches. And what I've learned is that you can't help people until they want to help themselves. And not everybody wants to win. Not everybody wants to be great. Many are perfectly happy with being good enough or having a 500 record. And I'll tell you a story. A lot of times I'll repeat stories in case this is a first time for you guys. And for those of you here on Facebook, give you a little thumbs up. A couple of years ago, or through the past few years, I've been brought into actually a lot of private schools where a coach says, wow, David Henry's watching from Glasgow, Scotland. Thank you, David. Coach will bring me in to introduce me to the athletic director. And one of the coaches, you know, after he brought me in, took me on a tour of their weight room. And the weight room was very outdated, which is all good. The weight room, I love those kind of gyms, but it looked like the gym when I went to Edison High School in 1989. And it had the old Universal set. And I told the coach straight up after he introduced me to the AD, I said, man, AD doesn't really seem to care for me at all. Doesn't seem like he was interested in even meeting me. I thought you wanted me to meet this guy. He goes, I'm going to tell you something. The past 10 years, athletics have taken a tremendous backseat. He goes, administration doesn't want to deal with the flack from parents who complain, lawsuits, all this stuff. He goes, it's just taken a backseat because they don't want to deal with the complaints. So it's such a shame. You know, every time I ask a teacher, hey, why'd you leave teaching? They never say the kids. They always say, man, the parents were complaining too much. And it's happened to me even with my gym, you know. Some people will find a way to blame us and forget that they said to me directly, my son is just complaining too much and he's not putting in the effort. And then they turn around and blame me. And that's all good. I'll take the blame. I'm giving some thumbs up here on Facebook. See a lot of good things. Mike Yunker says his grandson started football and first year wrestling. That's great. We got some people hopping on from the UK. Thank you for stopping by, Martin. And then, so Josh says, how do you overcome this? Josh, you don't overcome it, my man. What you got to do is be careful of where you put your energy. Don't put your energy into trying to help people who don't want your help. So as soon as you ask them, they have the power. They have the leverage. So I also, one of my gyms, I spent so much time and energy trying to help the kids in the town, the coaches in the town. And then when I realized they don't want it, they don't even care about this stuff, the gym started to flourish. The majority of our kids travel a minimum, at least 15 minutes away. Many of them more like 25 minutes, and a good amount are 45 minutes away. The amount of kids that are within a 5-minute car ride, bike ride, Out of the 80 plus athletes I train at one of the locations, I think I could count them on one hand. Okay, so being close to people isn't always, the best thing. I'll say this also. Sometimes I reconsider where the gym is, what kind of location you have. Some coaches say it doesn't matter where you're located, but now with everybody's face in front of their phone, maybe it's a good thing to spend a little extra money and put your gym on a road that has more foot traffic, more car traffic, and basically more eyes on it. So one of our locations is on a busy 2-lane highway, and we're pretty busy in there. And it's inside of a building. That's the Yeti MMA building with wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, MMA. So we're in front of the right people who want to do the work. So don't get too busted up over people and institutions that don't want your help, because like I said, not everybody wants to be better. Many people are happy with good enough. Okay, next question comes from Chris Gooden. What are your thoughts on squatting and pulling or pushing a sled every day? My elbows are messed up at the moment, so pushing and pulling upper body is out. So not sure what happened to your elbows. If they're both messed up, if you're going to squat every day and you're just using a straight bar, your elbows are going to get pretty beat up and they're going to have less recovery. So you're going to need to change up those squats. Use a safety bar, cambered bar, belt squat. And I would try, I'm not sure of what your injury is, you could certainly squat every day, but you must change the intensity and change the intent of the squat. So you might have a heavy day, then the next day might be lighter with a different tempo. Then the third day might be more of a speed day. Then the fourth day might be volume with moderate weight. Then the fifth day might be a 5x5 with a moderate weight. So you're changing the intent, or you're going, different styles of squats, pause squat, box squat, different stance on your feet. So your legs are getting attacked differently. Otherwise, not only will you physically get rocked, but mentally you must be very tough to be able to handle a squat everyday program. I would find a way to get your elbows taken care of. That might mean going to a chiropractor. They're all different. So there's a lot of, it's hard to say just go to a chiropractor. There's all kinds of different physical therapists out there who are also chiropractors. So you've got to get your learn on and do some outreach and also figure out why your elbow's messed up, because that's a red flag right there. So let's pull a question here from Facebook by Mr. Yunker. What age for kids to start going to the gym to get stronger? So going to the gym, it's a bit of an organized thing. So I like to wait until the kids are in 6th grade. Before that, they should be doing calisthenics and bodyweight training at the playground. They should be doing some little things at home. We've got a rope in my garage. My kids were climbing the rope before they were even 2 years old. And I'm going to say this too, is my kids think it's normal to be fit, to be strong, to work out, because they see me doing it all the time. They see me training in the garage, sprinting in the street, carrying kettlebells all around the place. So they think it's normal. So kids will not become what we want them to become. They will become who they want to become, but their normal will be very much influenced by what they see at home and who they hang out with. And I did a recent video on Facebook Live on that with your surroundings. What is your normal? Your normal is, the average of those 5 people you're hanging around. So it's never too late to get strong. And when a doctor says don't lift weights, I think that doctor means don't put a bar on don't squat, don't deadlift. But we see many, many young kids overseas in many overseas countries doing weightlifting with just a dowel, with just like a specialty bar that weighs maybe 15 pounds. So kids could throw medicine balls, they could push and pull sleds, but we want to get away from super duper organized, you're doing a workout. I don't like doing that with the kids. But I always tell this to parents. I go, look, several decades ago, 7, 8, 10-year-old kids worked on the farm before school and after school, and 7 days a week. It wasn't a problem for them. So we've gotten very overly concerned. So I think being exposed to just some manual labor and mowing the lawn and raking the leaves and, throwing medicine balls and walking on your hands while somebody holds your ankles, that stuff's great. And I still do that stuff with all of our athletes, regardless of their age. Okay, next question. Aaron says, or Aaron1992 says, Zach, would you advise doing handstand push-ups even though I've had surgeries on both shoulders, or would you substitute with something else? I bought your Bodyweight bodybuilding course and I love it. Thanks for all you do, brother. Those of you listening, that course is at bodyweightbodybuilding.com. So handstand push-ups, handstand holds are in the program, and everything is you've got to go by feel. So I had shoulder surgery on my left shoulder, and it felt weaker and worse in certain ways, better in other after surgery, and then I tore my labrum. I've worked with many wrestlers who have had full kind of reconstruction of repairing the labrum and the rotator cuff, both shoulders, and they're fine. They're going overhead. They've got great stability, great mobility. I'm going to kind of have you do a little extra work here, Aaron1992, and go listen to episode 107 with Dr. Phil Wagner from Sparta Track, Sparta Science. He had 3 shoulder surgeries on one shoulder, and he squats with a straight bar, where most would not use a straight bar. They would just go with a safety bar. So my thing is this: if it hurts and doesn't feel right, don't do it. Just ditch it. Do a modified version or do an isometric hold. If your mobility and stability aren't there, do a regression of that exercise. One of the best books with progressions and regressions of bodyweight is Convict Conditioning. ConvictConditioningWorkout.com. Bar none, one of the most amazing books I've read on bodyweight stuff. Mike, getting back to work. Happy New Year's to you, and hugs to your family. Probably, I don't even know, your kids must be in their 20s now. I am now coaching the kids of my coaches from high school. So that's like step 1 to getting old. Colin James question, Colin James 5. Zach, is there a time and place to use some body English in various exercises versus super strict form? Absolutely. Barbell curls, kind of doing a little nudge to take a little of that tension off of the tendons from the beginning of the lift, called a power curl, but then you go down slowly. Barbell row, overhand, underhand grip, a little body sway versus perfectly strict. It's natural, but as long as you're not moving round back, flat back, arched back, midway through, not that you can't do that, but you need to always be aware of your body positioning with eyes closed, eyes open. You got to have the kinesthetic awareness to know, am I doing too much to cheat and make it easier? Or I'm giving a little body English so I could go a little bit heavier and overload the muscles and maybe do a slower negative. Next question comes from my man Michael Meeker, Underground Strength Coach. He's part of the coaching group that I have, the Strength Coach Brotherhood. He goes, hey Zach, what ab work would you recommend for a kid that has poor core strength due to his autism besides sit-up variations and planks? Hope all is well. Michael, one of the best resources would be Dr. Stuart McGill, his book, Ultimate Back Health. He does a lot of bracing, and that's where between him and Dan John inspired me the most with the warm-up, which you've gone through, and the kettlebell carries. So various carries, overhead racks, suitcase, and offset carries. So one arm overhead, one arm in the suitcase position, with dumbbells, with kettlebells, various movements, doing a lot of stability exercises. Also doing lateral walking. You're in the top of a push-up and you just walk to your left, walk to your right. Hand walking, you putting your feet on furniture sliders or you holding the person's ankles. That's a lot of ab stability. So there's many exercises, and we could go through them when I see you in 2 weeks in New Jersey. Yep, you're doing a ton of carries each week. Dr. McGill said that, I'm not sure if they tested this, but I'm pretty sure they found more muscle recruitment in various places of the abdominals, the quote-unquote core, when holding the kettlebell in a bottoms-up position. bottoms up rack, bottoms up overhead. So anything that forces stability due to utilizing an unstable exercise, such as a carry. And the offset carries, different weights in each hand. Let's go back to the Instagram. Shelby Dorn 105. He says, hey, Zach, I'm wondering what your opinion is on New Year's resolutions. Do you think it's more beneficial to make goals more short-term or long-term? So I actually did a post on this on the blog, and let's see if I can pull up that blog title so you guys maybe listening or watching can pick up on this. Let's see what we got here. I did 3 ways to get stronger in the gym and in life for 2017. So I remember coming up with that because seeing all over Instagram and Facebook all of these special this, special that, 4 weeks to this, 6 weeks to that, kickstart this. You know, I understand people need that. And sometimes I forget. I just can't relate to the quote-unquote normal person who's struggling to get back in shape, because obviously the best thing to do is never fall out of shape and to do something every day. Now, do I do something every day? Of course not. There's many times when I miss or don't get it done, but I find a way to just make up for it or do better in the nutrition, or, you know, I just find a way. So Jim Wendler, I remember telling me something. He goes, you know, sometimes it's as simple as just walking every day. Go out and take a walk. Take a walk after dinner. Go out and walk your dog. That walk is now 100% more than zero. Tony Robbins, when I was a kid, you know, in my late teens, reading his book, said, you just make that one phone call. Call that one person. Now you start getting into state and you're building momentum. And that was a big lesson to me, because I think we get overwhelmed. We're thinking of these long-term things. And I think maybe years ago I was a little bit more rigid and had short-term goals, long-term goals. But with the way business is evolving, I'm learning to be very careful with setting very rigid goals and then not veering from them. Because of the way the world is evolving and technology is changing so quickly, it's almost like I can't keep up with it. I'm being a lot more flexible. But the one thing that I do is I have daily goals of getting specific things done. Get the STRONGLife tip of the day out. Get that morning email out. Get some training in yourself. Every time I'm at the gym, I don't focus on making the gym anything crazy. Community this, special that. I just focus on the one thing I said earlier, which is change the lives of these kids. So you should set short goals, and it really depends on what you're doing. My buddy Jared Moon is on. I got his book here. The book is on. It is here. The Garage Gym Athlete. End of 3 Fitness. And then the other thing I want to say is also, if you're an athlete, you must set goals. So I'm not a competitive athlete, but if I'm working with athletes, they've got to have a goal of win this tournament, rush this many yards, get this many points in a game. They need more specific goals for their sports. So you should set goals. You should find ways to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, because there's not a whole lot of good happening in your comfort zone. I've got like a couple projects going on where I push myself to be uncomfortable. Let me give you a little insight. I've got STRONGLife tip of the day, going to turn it into a book. So we've had the about 200 episodes transcribed. I'm going to take Bodyweight Bodybuilding, get it onto the Train Heroic platform so people can track their numbers on pull-ups, dips, and things of that nature. So I'm always pushing the envelope, setting up things where I'm not comfortable. 2 seminars coming up with Travis Mash. One is going to be in March down in North Carolina. Hopefully it will be warm. One in early June in New Jersey, and hopefully it won't be raining and you guys could go to the beach while you're here. So as an adult, set goals. The number one goal is this. It's this simple. This is the one I got to leave you with. And I have a bad habit of taking 20 minutes to answer one question. the number one goal should always be, if you're doing something, give it your best, because then you own that, and you didn't. Now it's, it's like a wrestler. I say, dude, if you go out there and fight with everything you got, then if you fought, then you won. Maybe you don't win by points on the board, but nobody can take that away from you. You went out there and battled with everything. But if you held some of it back, or you were tentative, now it's gone forever. It is gone forever. Rich Gray, I'm super excited to see you at the Play Summit at the Under Armour facility. So guys, Rich Gray, here we go. I'm looking here on my calendar. March 25th at the Play Summit at the Under Armour facility, which is in Baltimore. I cannot wait to go. I can't wait to represent. I even got a special Under Armour t-shirt that I will represent. And Play did our rubber flooring at the Scotch Plains Underground Strength Gym. That gym is boss. So Rich, thanks for stopping by. We got another great friend that just stopped by on Facebook, the Double A, Aaron Osmus, the national champion, All-American. He's always calling me Swole Cat, which puts the pressure on me, guys, to keep getting bigger and stronger. Ted Rasmussen says, this is a Facebook question. Hey, Zach, my son Nick just had his very first wrestling tournament. Wow. He loves it, but he has a lot to learn. He hates losing. He said when he gets home, he's reading the Underground Strength book again. That's awesome. Ted, you are down in that area where there is a powerhouse wrestling team, Southern Regional High School. I need to find if there's some sort of a wrestling club you could get your son to who's in that area, and just get him there once a week so he could work on technique. This is what I tell my son. He had a little, not a tournament, but like 2 matches a week or 2 ago. And I said, Ethan, this is just like practice. Go out there, do your best, and have fun. So, Ted, let me find out where there's a wrestling club down in your area and get you guys some good skill work, just going once a week. Because he's probably wrestling with the middle school right now. So, Ted, that is really cool that your son is wrestling and he has you to train with. What better could that be? Next question. Red Kenner did say also, do you ask the athletes that you train to set goals for themselves that you train at your facilities? I need to do a better job of that. But I do tell them, sometimes we always have kind of words before and after. But I do recall one time saying to a group of kids, I said, I could see who's got goals, because these 3 guys, they're destroying their training because they want to win this tournament and they want to achieve this and they have very clear goals. They know what they want. But you 3 guys, you're just coming here going through the motions because you haven't set concrete goals. And I remember saying to myself, I need to email all the athletes and or do it at the gym. Just give them like a half sheet of paper and an index card. I remember our wrestling coaches did this. We had to do 3 goals. So we had like a short-term goal. We had to do a team goal, or maybe it was just season individual and then team. And I remember one of my goals, check this out, develop mental toughness to the extreme. And but then after that, they reviewed them. But here's the thing. If you're setting goals, you have to reverse engineer. I did not reverse engineer how to achieve those goals, and that's why I fell short. So kids must reverse engineer, and kids don't know how to do that. So they need a mentor and a coach to do that. Adrian Robles just popped in. Welcome aboard. The Double A says, great form when you perform heavy one-arm dumbbell rows. I bet you could pull start a Harley Davidson. Strong back is a strong man. You exemplify that. Man, the one-arm row is an exercise that I big time believe in. One of my best numbers was back when I was training in the garage. You guys could even check it out on YouTube. I've got it on video. I think I did 130 pounds for 30 reps with one-arm row. And I was doing it, I remember, supersetting with thick bar bench press. I have a real unique memory when it comes to lifting. Let's get back to those questions. Where we go here. Journey to Kokoro. Hey, Zach, I posted this question on your Facebook page, although I wanted to make sure you saw it here. So here you go. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to learn from your knowledge. And here's my question. What has been the most powerful idea that you have implemented this year? Thank you, Zach. Keep killing it, brother. Wow. First of all, guys, it is my pleasure and my honor to share anything that's going on inside my crazy brain. So you don't have to thank me. If you do want to thank me, it doesn't have to be verbal. Just go out and just give it your all. Just do your best at whatever it is you do. And that doesn't mean you don't have to be a strength coach. That's not who my, the people that I want to impact shouldn't just be strength coaches. Be great at whatever it is that you do. Now, what's the biggest idea I've implemented this year? Man, that's a tough one because I'm gonna be completely blunt and honest with you guys. I oftentimes feel like I don't even know what people want anymore. I don't even know what programs to create, what this and that. And then when I say, what do you guys want me to create? What do you guys want me to build for you? And they say, we love what you do. Keep doing what you're doing. We want workouts from you. We want this from you. Well, we've got garage gym athletes. Those are the workouts that I'm programming for you. You could be a high school or college athlete following that. You could be just somebody who likes to kick ass and take names training with basic stuff. Train in a garage gym, train in a global gym. We've got the nonstop education in the Underground Strength Academy. I've got all these things, but I don't think it's either exactly what people want or technology-wise, I honestly feel like I can't keep up with new-looking websites, this, that, graphics, all this shit. I don't even fucking know what people want anymore. So it is tough. So I don't think I've got any ideas that are blowing my mind right now. You know, if I gave myself a grade on how I think I'm impacting people, I give myself a C. I don't feel like I've impacted enough people to do greater things, to do bigger things, to get strong. Now, the numbers don't lie. So I want to see several hundred people following garage gym athletes, not just 50 or 60 people. I want Underground Strength Academy packed with over 1,000 members. Why? Because I know that if they follow those workouts, they're just going to feel awesome. It's going to carry over into their life. I know that for the people looking for strength and conditioning knowledge, for inspiration, for knowledge, that they're going to save tremendous amounts of time. They're not going to waste their time on all this fads and gimmicks, and they're just going to become part of something that's like, I'm going to take this information from the Underground Strength Academy, apply it, boom, and it works. It's not bull crap. So, man, I won't feel like my ideas are good enough. I guess good enough is the death of greatness, right? Adrian Roble says, one of the things that I firmly believe in is being a coach who's able to create an upgrade in the lives of those we serve. The art and science of training, performance, nutrition, mindset, and lifestyle. Could you reiterate the traits of a life-changing coach versus a coach who just provides workouts? Yes, absolutely. Let me read you guys an email from a parent. So what's the difference between somebody who's just providing workouts to somebody who changes lives? Okay, this was a great email by one of the dads. We train his son, and I love working with his son. He's got this like real cool, chill personality. So here's what he said. Although we are in season for wrestling right now, I want him training with you guys 2 to 3 days a week. He loves the workouts, and I believe that is the key. Since starting your program, I'm going to leave his name out, he has made some serious gains, capital letters, serious. Not only in strength, but he pays more attention to nutrition. He fries his own eggs in the morning, and he looks forward to getting in his workouts whenever, wherever he can. We ran to the park a couple weeks ago, and we did push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, etc. I was very impressed with his form. His legs were sturdy on the pull-up bar, no kicking or squirming, and his push-ups were full motion. Last week, he lost a very close match in the closing seconds. As he walked off the mat, somebody said to him, "It's okay, the ref robbed you. That wasn't a takedown." His reply was, "Man, the ref didn't rob me. I never should have let it stay that close. I have to score more points. I'm hearing phrases like, do them right, stop making excuses. And then the father says, these are serious gains, capital, not only in strength, but overall attitude towards life. It's one thing to hear it from your parents, but your program puts it all in perspective. So keep doing what you're doing because the program is working in many ways. I have another 9-year-old son who will be joining soon as well. I'm going to make sure they love the process. Once they love the work, the results will come. Thank you. STRONGLife. So stuff like that means we are on the right track. The coaches at the underground are on the right track. We're doing the right things. We're changing people's lives. And you know, I don't need to do that to a lot of people. It jokes me out when I read that stuff. So without crying. Crazy. Let's go to the next question. I think we're at the end. We actually got one more here. So I'm scrolling through the Instagram, guys. This is always a good way. When I post on Instagram and say, drop your comments, drop your questions, that is the best way. But I also want you to do legwork, where you go back and research older STRONGLife podcasts, older episodes. Because if I always hand you the answer, you didn't fight for it. You didn't dig at least a little bit for it. And you won't respect it as much if I just hand it to you. Shelby Dorn says, Zach, I just got that email. Oh yeah, he was asking about the New Year's resolutions. I just got your email and I love it. If you're waiting for the new year to make a change, you're already screwing up. So what I mean by that is, you know, today is the 29th. I wrote that email a couple days ago. If you're waiting for the new year, you know, what's magically going to change 7 days from now? When you want to do something, you must be obsessed about it. I tell this to the kids who struggle with push-ups and pull-ups. I go, dude, even if you didn't have a strength coach, you should be getting stronger because you're just so obsessed with it that your mind drives the body to get strong. If you're not obsessed with making progress and you're not, you know, pissed off for greatness, if you don't have a deep-rooted why about wanting to get better, your progress, it is amazing how the mind will halt progress. I spoke about this in the Encyclopedia of Underground Strength, where I spoke about how for 6 months when I went through a deep depression, I did not gain muscle or strength. And I was training very hard and eating very clean. But as soon as I pulled myself out of that, you know, the bottom of the barrel, man, I think I gained like 12 pounds in 2 weeks. My mind changed and my body transformed. Rich Gray says, even a strong man shows emotions, means you've got passion for what you do and who you work with. Yes, and I'm going to tell you something that I think of sometimes, guys. It is hard being passionate because I often find myself being more excited and wanting it more than other people do. And I'm like, it's scary that energy goes to somebody else who may not want it. You just want to help people so badly, but you can't help anybody until they're ready and willing to help themselves. We're going to get the last question here from Jay Moxter and says, I might be a bit late, but I'd love to hear about some of your goals for 2017. Business, gym, life, and family goals. Keith Coombs, what's happening? Thanks for stopping by. Business goals. I believe, and I see what our training does. I want the online business to be 20 times bigger than what it is. You know, I've said before to people, I go, people are confused with what, you know, the impact I have. People email me stuff like this. Hey, Zach, you're probably laughing your way to the bank right now. I mean, they say stuff like that. I don't know, you know, I want my online training program to have 250 people. 50, 60 is crap. Underground Strength Academy, 1,000 members. How do you get that? I honestly don't know, man. I'm out there trying to change lives, but I know this. I'm doing the best I can, and I own that. If I was half-assing it, then there's no beauty in that. but at least I know I'm putting all my heart into the work. The gym goals, the new location is doing great. I want my other 2 locations to do better. I want them all to do better. I want to train every athlete in every town. I want to see every athlete crushing it. Double A, Aaron Osmus says, my goal for 2017 is to cast a bigger shadow. How about you take on that goal too? So I have to get bigger. Man. Life and family goals. Man, I'm just a simple guy. I don't really want a whole lot of, I don't need anything crazy. I'm just a simple man. Spend a little bit more time with friends, spend more time with family. That's also super important. That's always number 1 to me. And I want to do stuff that inspires other people to change their own life forever, not just in the short term. And I want to impact more people, a lot more people, with the Strong Life message. Strong mind, strong body, strong life. It's no good to deadlift 800 pounds if your life is in shambles. It's no good to make a lot of money, but you're 50 pounds, overweight with obesity. These are things that I want success in all the areas. They all feed one another. David Henry says, I put the Strong Life podcast on autoplay. And that's what I've been listening to on my way to work, in between clients, and it's great to keep me focused and fired up throughout the day. What it was say, listening to that and incorporating some of the workout of the months from the Underground Strength Academy and some of the mental toughness workouts has been a great way to test myself. I train and work in a small gym with no heat, so hearing your story really hits home in regards to your training environments. Yeah, man, comfort is the enemy of greatness. You've got to be very careful getting comfortable. So that's it, guys. Strong Life Podcast went live on Facebook. Big thanks again to intechstrength.com. Let me give you guys a little update on some things coming up. In January, I will open up the doors to the Strength Coach Brotherhood. That's it's business lifestyle stuff for strength coaches, and it's a 12-week program. Give you a lesson every week, and then we meet here in New Jersey after or sometime during the 12 weeks. Travis Mash and I, seminars together. Mid-March is in North Carolina, and then early June, New Jersey. Play Summit, that's going to be strength and conditioning at the Under Armour facility. Like, this shit is crazy. That's on March 25th. And that's it, guys. Go to undergroundstrengthcoach.com, garagegymathletes.com. Those are the best resources to really get connected with me. Thanks, everybody. Own the day. I'm going to grab some grub and go and change lives of kids. Underground Strength Gym, Manasquan, Jersey Shore. Really grateful for everybody's time sticking with me here. Michael Meeker says, do it, guys. It's worth every bit. Join the brotherhood. Thank you, Michael. And Mike, I'm excited. We're definitely going to do some hiking at the trails where I go mountain biking. I don't think everybody's going to have a mountain bike when we go. So, but if you want to bring your mountain bike and do something, feel free. But we're going to spend 2 days together, one day in the gym doing a lot of business lifestyle stuff. Another day we're gonna go hit the trails, probably take a 2-hour walk, and just let the conversations flow. Rich Gray, you're the man. Much respect. And I will see you in late March. That's it, guys. Also, the next podcast I'm going to have Jim Steele help me out. So we're going to do a Q&A together. He and I did episode 100 and 101, or 99 and 100 together. I'm going to get him on more episodes. Talking with that guy is super inspiring. Simple man, simple life. Talk to you guys later. Yes, the seminars are going to be awesome. Talk to you guys later.